So this is the beginning of this upcycle design. I'm going to be upcycling it. It is a ballerina costume. So basically I printed out to these copies. I made these copies because I'm a visual person and I have to see it visually as I see it in my head, and I have to see that the fabric is going to come out how I want it. I think it will, because it's going to be a repetition of the design throughout the fabric. And I don't want to ruin the first sketch. It's a rough sketch, so it's not like exactly how it's supposed to be, but more or less that's going to be the print. It's really dope how I see it. So once I'm finished, you guys will be able to see the actual fabric and how beautiful it is. This is just a rough, but yeah, that's going to be the fabric, and it's going to be repetition all around it. It's inspired by stained glass in cathedrals. I've always wanted to do a design with stained glass. So if you could see, it's a rose in the middle, and in between there's some words that I put. And the rose and the words have meaning. Eventually I'll tell you guys what's behind that. But as of now, the inspiration is the stained glass. Like I said, I always wanted to do stained glass, a design with stained glass. I just didn't know if it was going to be a structured design or if it was going to be a printed fabric. But as my process has been developing in this design, I went back to inspiration that I had from Mexico City, from a cathedral book I got out there, and the stained glass is what calls me more. And I was like, definitely I'm going to do a fabric inspired by stained glass, and the rose has a bigger meaning and the words a bigger meaning, and I'll tell you soon.
Should I bring it over the edge? This is the mistake part. Oh.
My design, I've changed this design like 3 times because it's really hard to upcycle a costume and make it wearable with a new fabric, which I created. That's my print. And now I'm in the process of cutting out the fabric into my patterns that I created. Here's the patterns I did. It's going to be the dress. And I also already did the drape for the dress, which is that right there. I'm really excited. This is the part that's fun for me. The technical part, not so much, but you gotta do it. And I'm going to bead the flowers with crystal work, so I'm excited about that. So I'll show you guys as soon as it's done. Bye. So here's the actual bodysuit that I dyed, and the color kind of took, but there's spots that were like rainbow colors, so they got yellow, purple. I'm not feeling that. I don't like it. So I don't know, I might have to color correct it. I'm going to use it for trim, so I'm going to cut it up into strips because it's too small. And I just want it to blend nicely into the garment itself with the fabric I do have. So this is the finale. This is my dress. I'm at the end of it. I just need to do little tweaks here and there and sew and finish beading. I still have a lot to bead. But basically, the last part of this story of this dress is I named it the Rose of Sharon, and I named it that because it's inspired by a really good friend of mine that passed away last year in August. And she passed away from cancer, and she fought really hard. And she was a designer as well. And, you know, she was an amazing woman, a hardworking woman. She was what we call in Spanish a guerrillera. She fought so hard in her battle with cancer. And I just wanted to do something as a tribute to her. And in her designs, she always designed jackets, denim jackets with the Virgin Mary on them. And it would have roses. She even did a pink jacket. And the pink jacket representing, you know, like her chicas going through cancer. And she just wanted to do that to bring awareness and stuff. And she was just an amazing designer. So she always designed beautiful jackets with roses and the Virgin Mary. And I wanted to represent her, as she reminds me of pink. She always wore pink, her nails pink, her fight with cancer, the roses. She loved roses. A lot of her designs had roses and the Virgin Mary. I didn't want to be literal, so I wanted to represent her with the roses and to create a design with roses. And since I like stained glass in cathedrals, I wanted to incorporate that. It was kind of like me collaborating with her in some way and sending her this gift to heaven as a tribute. And so I did the stained glass effect on the roses, and in between it, I put, if you look closely, I put por vida, because she would always say por vida, and that in Spanish. In English means for life, everything. You know, we would wear heels all the time, and I tell her we're always, you know, in our heels, and she would say, yeah, es que somos las chicas con tacones por vida. And that means like we're the girls with high heels for life. And she would just use that as a staple. That was like her staple. I feel like she would always use it in her designing, like on hats. She sent me a hat one time that said Arizona por vida, and she just used those. That was one of her sayings that she used. And I also added Hosanna, if you could see right there. It's all in the print, you know. And I added that because Hosanna means salvation, gratitude, joy, and I feel that God is with her, and she's in the heavens dancing how she loved to dance. And Hosanna, there's a church song when you go to church that they sing, and I really liked that song, and I thought I'm going to incorporate it as well as a tribute to God, as well to Jesus. And I know he's with her, and I just wanted to incorporate both, like, you know, as a gift, sending it to heaven with hidden messages within the dress, and their messages for them, for her, and for God, you know. And that's why I put it in the dress, and I wrote it. I designed it in Old English, because she made all her dresses in Old English. And not her dresses, her jackets. She made all her jackets with like wording or shirts or things she made with Old English. That was a text that she always liked to use. And she was just all about the culture, you know, Mexican culture, our culture, and just creating really cool stuff in LA. And she's just amazing. And so I wanted to do a tribute to her with that. and I beaded it because I bead dresses. I like to bead, that's my thing, and I do a lot of sculptural things on dresses. So with the piece that we had to upcycle, I created a sculpture effect on it, which is that you see right there. And the little ruffles were part of the dress as well that I used, and I ruffled it up. It used to be like little straps on top, and that's pretty much it. So that's the story behind the dress. That is the inspiration. My friend Susana Gonzalez, aka Ola Chola, was her brand, and I just wanted to do something special, something beautiful, as a gift, as a tribute to her and her life and her fight with cancer, and how brave and strong woman she was. And she was very influential in the community with her family. Everyone loved her, and she was a strong woman, and just gone too soon, you know. And I miss her, and I wanted to create something inspired by her. I hope you guys like.